Okay, thank you all for attending my speech today. This is Claire Morris, Sarah Tunkton, Emma Warner, and Jessica Colligan, and I am Amy Miller, and we will be conducting a discussion about the healthcare in the United States. Healthcare in the United States has come into much discussion as of recently due to things like the Affordable Care Act becoming law and the issues that have surrounded this in the website. I'm giving a speech on the downsides of the American healthcare system and the doctors and how it harms doctors and the patients alike. To give a quick background, the United States came in 37th in the World Health Organization's ranking of world healthcare systems in 2000, with countries like Costa Rica and Colombia coming ahead of us. On top of this, according to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, physicians are up to 30% more likely to have depression than the average person, and female physicians specifically are up to 400% more likely to commit suicide than the average female. I have a few questions just to ask the group here regarding the American healthcare system. The first is, have you heard about problems in the American healthcare system? If so, what did you hear?
I mean, basically the biggest thing I've heard is just how expensive healthcare is if you don't have insurance. So if you're insured, it's good in a sense of like if you need to see a doctor, you can and quickly. But if you're not and you get diagnosed with cancer, your entire family is going to go into debt, and like it's pretty much impossible to afford if you don't have insurance.
Right. Mm-hmm. Anyone have anything to add?
I've just heard similar things and gone through similar things, like having very not good health insurance and not much is covered, and having to go to the ER for random things really racks up your debt, and you don't really expect it until something extreme happens, and then there's nothing you can do about it after that fact.
I have something else.
Okay, go on.
So my friend, he was in Florida and he broke a leg.
Mm-hmm.
He broke a leg and he was like in a ton of pain, and at some point someone asked if he needed an ambulance, and he said, "Don't call an ambulance, it costs too much money."
Yeah.
He said, "I can't."
No, that happens a lot, especially ambulances are about $12,000 just on average if you need to get done a block.
So he did if he would have actually needed an ambulance, he didn't even get one because he knew it was too much money. Right. Mm-hmm. So
okay, perfect. On to the next question. Do you think that there's a problem in the U.S. with healthcare, and why do you feel this way? I mean, this is kind of the same, but maybe we'll let Claire and Jess say a few words. You want to take it away?
I mean, yeah, I think there's a problem, but I don't know what can be done about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think it's hard because there those really special cases that need like different cancers or pediatric they need that help. It's not covered by any insurances and stuff, and so that's an issue. But then in the poorer families might have more health conditions, and then they can't afford insurance, so then they don't go to the doctor, and then they have more health conditions on top of that. So I think that's just a continuing cycle of
I agree. Preventative healthcare can sometimes be the cure to a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Okay, on to the next question. Do you have an idea what do you think is the root or the cause of the problems in the United States with healthcare?
I think just pharmaceutical companies that are doing research. I think it costs a lot of money to do research on certain medicines and different practices, but I think that they charge a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
Once something's discovered, they're here we have this medicine that works. We're going to charge companies $12 million to use it. And
I think on top of that, if you're in the hospital, if you get a pill of ibuprofen, it's $12.
Right.
So it's you can get a whole entire bottle for $3.
Mm-hmm.
So they just overcharge astronomically, and they give you things maybe they'll wipe your arm down and you didn't even ask for that, and they'll charge it to you. So you have to make sure that you're not getting overcharged for things that you're I don't need that, or that's not necessary. Yeah. Or just extra shots and extra surgeries and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Do you know of any possible solutions to these problems?
I think you could even go deeper as in looking at how much education costs, because becoming a doctor costs a lot of money education wise, and then when you are a doctor, you're like being penalized via taxes for making more money, and with like the new healthcare system, you won't get paid if your patient comes back within 30 days with another illness, like things like that. You can't really control. Most doctors are looking out for the best interests of their patient, and just because they get sick again within the next 30 days or whatever, that doesn't really mean it's your fault. That's just human nature. And so, I don't know, just certain little things like that really add up.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for participating in our discussion today. This will help me a lot with my speech, and thank you again.